Hi folks, hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. We have had some more news to do with 10th edition. It is very exciting stuff. We're actually going into the part of the reveals now where we're getting into the nitty-gritty of how this game is going to play on release. Very, very exciting. If you like what I do, the subscribe button is down below, the Patreon button is also down below, and if you're getting any models, make sure you go over to Composite Games, use the promo code Northern Exile to get yourself 5% off at checkout if you're getting any models recently. So, let's jump in, shall we? I'm going to jump in here and basically do a very raw reading of the rules as they're coming out, or of the news as it's coming out as well. Because in the past, I've done several pieces of scripts and bullet points and things like that I want to hit, and eventually that stuff's kind of out of whack because other people will talk to me about things on the Discord, and by the time I actually come to do the video itself, I'm already out of date. Like some things have been corrected for me, some things have been jigged around for me. So right now, I've done a bit of reading, and I'm going to go and do a live reading of this on the channel right now, so we can see how the hell the new edition of Warhammer 40,000 makes all the phases count. Again, this is a few days ago from the horse's mouth from Games Workshop. Let's see how 10th edition is going to play, and see if we like it or not. It's all change in the upcoming new edition of Warhammer 40,000. Even the very basics of the game have been simplified to make the game smoother and faster without losing depth. They keep going on about this, and they keep linking it. The entire message is simpler, but not simple, you know? They really are reaching for the stars with that kind of a game, and that they're going in and saying, no, we want it to be simpler, but not simple. We don't want it to be this. We don't want to play a game of backgammon. Do you know what I mean? We actually want this to be a nuanced game, but one you can pick up very, very, very easily. Again, laudable attempts, I think, and they're attempting to do what we all want from the game. Let's be honest, they're attempting to do. Is this just going to be the simplified, not simple? Yeah. The turn structure is still the same. One player still takes the first turn to maneuver and fight with all the forces at their disposal, and then the second player does the same. So, no alternating battle rounds. That is a very, very, very risky move for me. A few editions ago, it would have been very risky to do alternating battle rounds, as in, I activate a unit, you activate a unit, back and forth we go, to move with or shoot with or do whatever, right? It would have been risky a few editions ago. This time, I think it's actually riskier to not do that. It's riskier for me to not do that alternating battle line thing, because it would eliminate 99, maybe 100% of the problems to do with stratagems and the way that they're going to bloat the game going forwards. And they will bloat the game going forwards. I don't care what anybody tells me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 5, 6, 7 times, shame on me, right? Because every single time Games Workshop releases a new edition, aside from 9th, which was kind of broken at release anyway, but 8th was the same though. 7th was the same. Starts out as a decent edition that everybody really likes. 8th started out as a phenomenal edition that everybody was, that I knew anyway, and I met hundreds of people through my job, were really enthused about. They loved 8th edition, and eventually it got more and more and more bloated as the power creep of the codexes got worse and worse and worse and worse as the edition went on. The true problem with the rules and with the hobby, for me, is the codexes. Those are the problem. That's the problem. As long as you bring out rules in a very haphazardy, stuttered format, things are going to creep up in terms of power. It's just a natural formation of things. Unless you hit every single codex out of the park straight away, and you keep it balanced but interesting, which you've never been able to do before. Games Workshop have never been able to do that before. So why would they be able to do it at the 10th time of asking? I'm not really sure. So stratagems will come in the codexes. They will be available in the codexes, and you will get more of them. I don't care what they've told you. I don't care what you think. They will come in, because this is what Games Workshop does. I will not let them piss on my head and tell me it's raining. It's not happening. And I won't let them do that to you as well. If you're watching this video, I won't let them do that to you. I'm going to call it like it is. I'm going to tell you what's coming. And when it happens, you can say, well, I guess I was told, because they will not stop doing this. They will always, always, always nickel and dime you. If there is money to be made, a quick buck to be made, they will make it. Okay? And that's exactly what's going to happen with the new edition. We will have a wonderful 4 to 6 months of the new edition without any new codexes. We'll have all indexes there and everybody's having fun. And then eventually the first codex will drop with a load of stratagems in it and a load of power creep in it. And the people who are having the army will be really happy. Everybody else will grumble. But then they'll be thinking, well, my codex isn't out yet, so maybe I'll get this treatment as well. Me. That's how people tend to think, and that's what Games Workshop rely on, so that these things go over your head all the time. You know, it's unfortunate, but, you know. Anyway, moving on. This is called the Battle Round, but 7 phases have now become 5, and both players will now contest each one to the fullest. So the way that they're going, again, the entire game, guys, I don't get why people are telling me, well, you know, stratagems, there'll be hardly any in the game. That's what we're being told, yes. But the entire game is built around using stratagems to interrupt your opponent's turn. Back and forth, you know? If you're going to do that, just do alternating activations. Take all that out of it. Do alternating activations, and then do 4 or 5 stratagems per army. Done. This is bloating the game, it's grinding the game down, it's making it slower, it's making it more frustrating to play, because you're stopping all the time, and things feel like a gotcha. I don't care how many times Games Workshop will tell us, we don't want gotchas in the game. Then stop making it like that then. Stop making it a gotcha game. When you know, stop making it when you're playing somebody, they go, I think you'll find I've got this stratagem that cancels that out. Sorry, you know, make that a thing of the past. Both players should get to play with their armies. That's how the game should work. Okay? I should have my turn, and you should have your turn. Yes, you should have these amazing stratagems, 4 or 5 of them, to use in the battle at a time of real substance that you need needs to happen right now, right? A Hollywood moment. But like interrupting somebody's turn and grinding the game down and slowing it down, dude, this is going to be a nightmare at tournaments. I swear. Let's go over it anyway. Let's go over it. Okay, the battle round, the command phase. So, both players muster strategic resources, then you test your unit's battle readiness. So, that's basically using your command abilities and doing your morale tests, essentially. Movement phase, your units maneuver across the battlefield, and reinforcements enter the fray. Self-explanatory. Shooting phase, your units fire their ranged weapons at the foe. Self-explanatory. Charge phase, your units charge forward to battle at close quarters. Self-explanatory. And fight phase, both players' units pile in and attack with melee weapons. Okay, so not much has changed here. Not much has changed, apart from the shortening down of the 7 battle rounds to 5, which I think is a very good way of going about the game. But let's go in to how these changes are going to affect, because we've gotten rid of the psychic phase, and I think we've gotten rid of the morale phase. Yes, they're all boiled in now. So let's see how we go. Here's the headline. The phase structure is broadly the same. You perform admin for the turn ahead in the command phase. Then you maneuver using the word admin. Right? Using the word admin. Don't do that, Games Workshop. I don't play Warhammer to be an admin assistant. So, if you don't mind, can we not have admin in the game? A good game hardly has any admin. Let's be honest. You're playing the game. You're not admin, you're not being like, 1 point for that, and 1 command point over here, and 1 morale check -6 there, and get that out. Fuck that. I don't want to do that. That sucks. And I'm sorry, it does. Like, you can call me a short attention span, whatever. That sucks. At the start of every unless you've played a 2,000 point game of Warhammer 40,000 over the last couple of years, you won't know what I mean. There is that real sense of weariness that you get on turn 2 or 3. Where, again, at the start of your turn, you're tallying up points, you're remembering what points you've scored, you're remembering what secondaries you've scored, you're remembering what you've killed, and where this has gone, where that's gone, and all these other things that are going on in the game. That sucks. That's admin. Right? That should be boiled down. I really love games, right, where we get rid of the secondaries. The best games I've had have been like, I need to hold that objective over there, you need to hold this objective over here, let's fight. You know, and we fight. Just like 6th, just like 5th, just like 3rd edition, right? We fight. and we see which one holds those places at the end of the game. That's what we do. We don't score secondaries. We don't do, oh, I kill all the tanks, so I get 3 points now. No, stop it. Right? It should be in the game, sure. If you want to play that way, sure. But, dude, come on. The admin is getting out of hand. It's out of hand in 9th. It's way out of hand in 9th. And it looks like, to me, they're still using the term admin. They've not learned their lesson. 10th is going to be much of the same. I'm seeing nothing that's telling me that we're going to see a addition that's this boiled down mythical version that they're showing us. Honestly, I'm not seeing much. You can only do a boiled down game in as much as your players can't make it super complicated. And Warhammer fans will make this game super complicated when it comes out. They just will. They just will. Okay? So, you perform admin for the team, for the turn, ahead in the command phase. Then you maneuver in the movement phase, take aim in the shooting phase, charge into melee in the charge phase, and get to the biffing in the fight phase. So what's changed? The psychic phase and the morale phase are now no more. But this doesn't mean that psychic powers and morale are gone. The effects are still very much present, but they've been smartly compressed into the other phases. Let's break it down, okay? For some players, like the likes of the Thousand Suns, Grey Knights, yay, and Eldari, the old psychic phase was a technical carnival of Empyrean delights. For others, especially the Tau Empire and Necrons, it was often 10 minutes spent watching your opponent make a bunch of mysterious D6 rolls and remove models accordingly. Yeah, I like that language. Okay, cool. Nice to see Games Workshop doing that. This was often unfun and awkward to play around, so now psychic powers are used throughout the other phases instead. Peering in the future for tactical insights, that's an ability in the commands phase. Paralysing foes with hypnosis, you'll do that in the fight phase. Tossing around Eldritch Lightning, that's a ranged attack. Used in the shooting phase alongside any regular guns you may be carrying. I like that. Okay. Alright. That makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot more sense. When I was actually reading this, first of all, I was actually thinking, oh no, that's going to be a lot of mental garbage, a lot of mental brain power that psychic players are going to have to pull around with them. But when you think about it, it's not really. It's not. This is a really good change. Because all it means is that as a psychic player, you need to recognise that you have tools at your disposal that other people don't in certain phases. That's basically all you have to do. I like that. It's not creating more of a mental load, really. If I'm shooting something, then I know I can do smite or something like that, right? Smite should be a shooting attack, I think, or maybe it's command. I don't know. But yeah, it's there. Over here it says Witchfire, so I'm guessing Witchfire is a shooting attack, right? Yeah. So, the Terminator Librarian, for instance, unleashes his smite in the shooting phase. Each time he does so, you can choose to manifest either a controlled mental burst or recklessly a powerful psychic onslaught that may backfire to the hazardous weapon ability. Okay, nice. Okay, let's see what that is. I think we've gone over this already. Yeah, we've gone over that already. Okay. So, Psychers are more than just brain-based artillery, however. He also boosts any Terminator squad he's leading, twisting the Veil of Time to grant their attacks the sustained hits ability. Each Space Marine Librarian brings their own flavour of psychic chicanery to the battle. So, again, you're using different parts of your army in different ways to basically get the best that you can out of the units around them. I like it. I like the way that it asks a little bit more of you as a psychic player, but it doesn't necessarily bring things to a halt and make you miss things. If anything, I can see myself missing less stuff. What I mean by forgetting less stuff using this. I can imagine myself missing a lot less than this. Alright, the Weird Boy, on the other hand, can't be bothered with anything so quotidian. Okay, this fucking word here. I'm just going to get this out there, right? Games Workshop like you to think that they're clever. They're not clever, okay? Black Library writers use words like this all the time. Words that me, as somebody who spends a lot of their time every day around language, I mark essays at a university at master's level. I mark all those. I do proofreading for academic and normal books. I've been around some shit when it comes to vocabulary. The pompousness of Games Workshop's writing in the Black Library is something that I've really wanted to rip apart for a long time, because it really annoys me. It's almost like they're kind of got this really weird inferiority complex about being a company that sells toy soldiers, and so they have to write these ridiculously stupid words that let's be honest, even somebody who's, you know, a model dialectist, they're not going to be able to jump in and be like, oh, quotidian, I know what that means. No, dude, shut your face. Stop. Put the thesaurus down. Put it down. You're an idiot, just like the rest of us. That's why you work for Games Workshop, and you're not an actual writer. Okay? Good. Moving on. Right. But his Headbanger's shooting attack grows in power and volatility according to how many boys he has in his entourage. His the jump power fires at the end of the movement phase, allowing you to teleport his lad somewhere more deadly, assuming his brain doesn't explode from the stress. Alright. As you can see here, end of the movement ability, end of the movement stuff, you can do the jump, psychic, lovely stuff. And it even says in the rules there, end of your movement phase, lovely. I'm really liking the way that these are coming out. You know, I know you're wanting more of a stressful, you know, but do you know what? The way that psychic powers are being handled, I'm fine with that. Because I felt bad. I in my psychic phase, I was actually speeding up my psychic phase and missing things because I felt bad for my opponent. Because we were there all the time, just going, oh, for God's sake, he's going to be sitting here now for the next 20 minutes. I guess I'll just smite with everything. Yeah, that's not great. I've got other tools to use. Now I'm going to get to use them, because it doesn't feel that bad. Unless I'm doing them in his phase, then yeah, that sucks. At the morale phase. Morale is even simpler. That all gets sorted in your command phase. When you take battle shock tests for any unit that have taken enough losses. Battle shock tests are super simple. Roll a 2d6 for every unit that's below half strength. That means they're a squad with less than half of their starting models, or a single model with less than half of their starting wounds. Ooh. Oh, does that work for characters as well? You'll need to roll equal to or above your new leadership characteristic. If you fail, that unit suffers some nasty penalties until your next turn. This is what I like, though. I like the fact that we're going upwards in leadership, not downwards. That was one of the things that I really hated. Look at the leadership here. That's one of the things that I really, really, really hated last time. Oh my god. For Games Workshop, for the longest time, it's kind of like armor class in D&D, you know? Why do I have to roll under... What? You know, why do I have to roll under my leadership to get the... Stop it. Just complications for no reason. Battle shock, though. In this step, you must take a battle shock test for each of your units on the battlefield that is below half strength. To do so, roll 2d6. If the result is greater than or equal to the best leadership characteristic in that unit, the test is passed. Otherwise, the test is failed, and until the start of your next command phase, that unit is battle shocked. When a unit is battle shocked, the objective characteristic for all of its models is 0, so basically it can't take objectives. If it falls back, you must take a desperate escape test for every model in that unit. Its controlling player cannot use stratagems to affect the unit. Alright. With this change, morale is no longer just a casualty multiplier. Like psychic powers, battle shock now impacts every other phase of the game, shaping how you use your units and rewarding players who can keep their army in fighting order. From transports to terrain rules, there's lots more to... Okay, this is all this sort of stuff. So, I want to know what this desperate escape test is. I'm thinking it's going to be one of those where you are taking casualties the way you when you fall back. That's what we're going to be doing there. So there is a if you want to fall back, you can choose to fall back, but you will be taking a desperate escape test. Right? Okay. So I like this. I like this because you can still leave the unit there. You can go, right, okay, we're no longer controlling objectives, and I can't affect them with my stratagems. No problem. This is actually worries me somewhat for non-marine players, because these rules don't half seem geared towards Space Marines right now. Because the Space Marine's like, yeah, I don't care. I can just sit here all day. I've still got 2 wounds. I'm fine. I'll sit here. This one unit is now not controlling an objective. Okay. I'm not going to fall back now because I'm meaty enough to sit here and take it. So, and I can't use stratagems on that unit. Okay, fine, whatever. There are so many other units, other armies in the game, that rely on affecting stratagems to affect their own units all of the time. I'm not sure whether a psychic power would be classed as a stratagem. I don't think it is. So things like Eldar should be fine and people like that. But there are certain other bloody hell, AdMech. Can you imagine all of the stratagems that they have right now? The multitude of stratagems they have. They're such a difficult army to play. Can you imagine if this Battle Shock rule was in the current edition? They would be screwed. They would be screwed because now they can't affect nearly any of their units with any of their beefier rules, as long as you get them into Battle Shock. Oof. So hopefully that means the entire game things are going to seem a lot more punchy and a lot more tanky. What I mean, and that game's going to last a bit longer. I think the ideal game of Warhammer 40k, let's be honest, isn't very big. It's about 1,000, 1,500 points, and you've got 2 armies that are going to be able to slug it out for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours in a nice, meaningful, lovely game of Warhammer 40k that you both walk away from happy. It's hard to do that with bigger. If you make your units susceptible to being blasted off the table, that only makes people take larger and larger and larger and larger armies so that you can get more of a time on the tabletop. That's all it means, right? So hopefully, with things getting more beefy, we will start to see smaller, more compact, more meaningful games of 40k, rather than standing there for 6 hours wanting to die. I know some of you will like that, but I just can't, man. I can't. So those are the battle shock. What do you guys think of the battle round so far? I quite like the psychic phase. I know that's going to be quite controversial. I know a lot of people are going to be like, I wanted you to really rip this a new one. I quite like the way that these two things work. I think that they're very elegant. I don't like some of the language that's used here. The word admin being involved really isn't for me. And it shows that, once again, they're relying on you, in your command phase, taking notes of all of these different points that you're scoring, all these different things that you're doing. It slows the game down. It bugs me. It's not my kind of game at all. Which is why I'm probably going to be more of a combat patrol player in the new game. Just maybe that's what I'm going to be. Because I'm a guy who likes to roll dice and tell stories. That's me. I'm not really into -6 for that one and +5, 8.9 for that one. And no, it's not really me. Not for me. So hopefully there are ways to avoid that in the new edition, because I think that's the way it's going. And Codex Creep will be back. I keep saying it all the time. Don't let them suck you in. Codex Creep will be back. Stratagems will bog the game down as we go forward because they want to make more money. And as more people get more frustrated with the edition as it goes on, the more Games Workshop will want to sell more and more and more. They will want to cash out, essentially. That's what they do. They cash out of their new edition. About a year, maybe 2 years in, Games Workshop cashes out of the current edition. And they just wreck it and charge you to fix it, essentially. They wreck it with more and more and more powerful rules. And those of you who don't have those rules have to pay to get the new rules. To get better rules, essentially. New codexes, new stratagems, new campaign sets, new rules coming in weird books that we don't know of. That will happen again. It will happen again. That's their business model. Unless they've changed their entire business model, that will happen again. So, let's hope for the best with 10th. What do you guys think? I love you a long time. I will speak to you tomorrow for some more Hobby Nightmares. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I wish you all the best. Have a good one. See you later. Bye now.